So give us a bit of science behind this. What's actually going on in somebody who suffers concussion?
So we used to think of it as being some sort of bruise to the brain, right? We used to call it the coup contra coup injury, where the brain kind of bashed up against the skull and created some sort of, bruising on the outer part of the brain. And what we now kind of think about it as is a stretching of axons. So when the brain is kind of impacted, it goes through acceleration and deceleration. So that's really what a concussion is. It's not the impact itself, it's the acceleration of the brain. And when the brain is kind of accelerating and moving around and shaking within the skull, provided it has enough acceleration behind it, you actually are going to get stretching of the axon. So the individual kind of brain cells are going to stretch. And they're porous. So they're not we think of an axon as like a tubular structure, but they're actually porous. There's pores kind of throughout it. And if you stretch it to a great enough degree, those pores will become opened. And inside of, if we get back into our kind of intro physiology type stuff, you have high amounts of potassium and sodium both inside the cell, and you're going to get ion exchange. Well, normally that's closed, and those are meant to go through specific gated channels. Now, if the brain gets accelerated and decelerated and those pores stretch, they can actually open enough where you're going to get potassium coming out, sodium rushing in, creating an action potential. So if you want to think about concussion in a simplistic term, concussion is just millions of brain cells that all at the same time get tricked into thinking that they've received some sort of signal. So they all start going under action potentials. So there's actually no physical damage to the brain that we can see. It's actually a functional injury. It changes how the brain functions for a period of time. So we get this kind of electrical storm. And that's the initial symptoms that someone may experience. That could cause someone to lose consciousness. It could cause somebody to have a seizure. It could cause somebody to just kind of be a little bit disoriented and out of it. You may have people off balance. And this is just because there's so much activity happening inside the brain that you can't make sense of it. Everything is just kind of going on. It's chaos.